everybody. On this episode of Cook's Nook, we've got attorney Stephen Ebert, who tells you what to do if the seller decides to take all the doorknobs off of the doors before closing. Check it out. Hey everybody, LauraCook here with the LCNYC team of Keller Williams, and we are here with another episode of Cook's Nook, and we have Stephen Ebert in the house. Hey, Stephen.
Hi, Laura. Good to be here.
Great to have you. And if you don't know Stephen, you're in for a treat. He is amazing. He is a transactional attorney with outstanding experience in the representation of clients in all types of real estate and related tax matters. He was formerly an attorney with one of the most well-established Wall Street law firms, and he has the ability to manage a team of professionals to provide the technical expertise and leadership to meet the timing, structure, and economics of the deal. Again, thank you, Stephen, for being here with us. I cannot wait to learn more about you and your business. So let's launch right into our questions here. In terms of your business, what really drives you? What motivates you every day?
Well, I love the ability to help people. And the fact is, we have very sophisticated clients, but we also have clients who have never hired a professional before. So they come to you and they don't know exactly what to do. And even if you're buying a quote entry-level property, the reality is it's really expensive. It's the biggest financial decision that they're going to make. And really love being there as an advisor and really taking them through a transaction A to Z. And it really puts their life financially in a direction. And, you know, we really see the reciprocity because years later, I have clients who I represented 10, 15 years ago who call up and say, I still have the closing binder. Back then, 15 years ago, it was a paper binder. Now it's all digital. So they're waving around their electronic files in the air. And they, you know, and they come back all these years later and you can represent them again. And they remember how the closing went and how things were easy, things that were hard, negotiating with their repairs at the end or ways in which we save them money. And it's so gratifying to have such a high impact for people. So love being part of, you know, really one of the biggest decisions a client can make in their lives.
What has surprised you about your business as you've grown over the years? Anything specific come to mind?
Well, probably the biggest surprise is how small the island of Manhattan is. I mean, we think about it, we're in New York City, this major metropolis, you know, biggest city in the world. And it's amazing how many times you do a transaction, it turns out this one works with that person, they're a second cousin, they went to school with this person. And, you know, I'm always reminded of the scene at the end in Spaceballs when they're about to have the fight. And he goes, I was your cousin's friend, this person's roommate. You know, and you know, the funny thing is New York is so much like that. We really have all these neighborhoods and areas, and you really make these connections. And it takes the seemingly impersonal and makes it very personal.
What are some odd requests that you've had from clients?
My favorite that probably and you know this is true because the story is so bizarre you can't make it up, is I'm at a closing of a client buying a house. And I always ask in the beginning, how did the walkthrough go through? Is everything okay? And they said, everything was fine with the house except for one problem. I said, well, what's that? The doorknobs. I go, what about the doorknobs? They're missing. Like, what do you mean the doorknobs are missing? Well, we went to the house and the doorknobs are gone. And so I said, I got to ask this question. I go, were they unique? I mean, I've seen people sometimes have like really interesting antique doorknobs. They said, no, it's pretty standard from a hardware store. So I said, give me a minute, I'll be right back. I talked to their attorney. I said, I just got to tell you how it is because it's a little bizarre, but it seems that these very standard run-of-the-mill doorknobs in the house are gone. So the attorney looks at me, he's like, you're joking, right? I said, no, I mean, this is what I've been told. So he goes to his client, he comes back, he's a little red in the face. He's embarrassed. He's also laughing. He's also shocked all at the same time. He's like, yeah, the doorknobs are gone. He goes, my client said the following to me. I'm buying another house and I wasn't sure if it would come with doorknobs. So I took them just in case I needed them. So we agreed that the doorknobs would be put back, and all the doorknobs, I'm happy to say, including all the screws and everything, were put back the way they were, and everything went okay. But the case of the missing doorknobs was solved successfully.
Well, that's hysterical. Did you end up having to put money in escrow until they were returned?
What happened was they started doing it right then and there. The closing was close to the house, and they ran over. So the seller and the real estate broker, they ran over. They started putting all the doorknobs back. They checked to make sure they all worked, and they were able to get it done by the time we were done signing. So, they never had a time period without doorknobs.
That's hysterical. That's when you're the listing agent and you're going, you did what? What? You didn't think there were going to be doorknobs in the next place, and you took them out of your place to make the doorknob problem in your place. What?
And I gotta say, I mean, I've seen a lot of weird things, but it's rare that I've gone to somebody's house and they say, "Oh, sorry about the door over there without the doorknob," right? That doesn't really happen too often.
Hey, I've never seen. We've seen a lot together, you and I. I've never seen that. That's a new one.
Yeah.
What are your greatest challenges these days?
I think expectations in a few different ways. I think you have buyers who are there who have some angst. Where's the stock market going? Where are interest rates going? I want to buy, but I'm not sure. I want to always get the best possible deal.
Yeah.
So that's one side of the frame. On the seller side, they say, well, wait a minute. Yeah, there's some uncertainty, but pick any period of time and the market's gone up. When I was practicing, I've been practicing before there was the 2008, 2009 financial contagion and collapse. I remember being in my apartment. I know exactly where I was on the Upper West Side when 9/11 happened. I just came back from Europe 2 days before, and I literally had the day off and I was going back to work the next day. And I remember being there and those horrific times. But also I want to say, anybody who bought the month before these tragedies all made a lot of money. And so you have sellers who say, well, wait a minute, I understand there's some short-term angst here, but I also don't want to be foolish and really sell at a fire sale when there is no fire.
Right.
And so there's a little bit of distance between parties, and they need to sort of understand each other.
Yeah.
There might be a deal here and a deal there, but there aren't steals. And understanding how the market works, because there's a lot of information out there, and some of it's accurate, but a lot of it's not.
Yeah. So what is your favorite restaurant in the Upper West Side, would you say?
There's a lot of great places. Depends what you're in the mood for. We definitely go to Cafe Luxembourg a lot, right in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I've taken my kids to Allison's Teacup.
Of course.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. And I appreciate that there is so many unique places like that. I mean, it's great to have certain consistency amongst restaurants, but it's cool to just go into a place and say, wow, this is really unique.
So Stephen, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you to help with the transaction on the attorney side, how do they reach you?
Great. Well, you can either call or you can send me an email, or you can even call me on my cell phone. And you can tell I'm not a millennial. I actually listen to voicemails. I don't say text me. So feel free. If you can't catch me, leave a message. I'll call you back. Great. And would love to help you, whether it's the Upper West Side, anywhere in New York City, or even, and I know this might be difficult to fathom for some of the city folks, even outside the city. We do everything.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so thankful that you were here and for sharing your knowledge with us. And thank you for always taking such good care of my clients when you're working with them. And be sure to reach out to Stephen, learn more about his business, see what he can do in terms of your transaction. And as always, stay tuned for next time here on Cook's Nook. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching this episode of Cook's Nook. Be sure to connect with Stephen if you have any legal questions about real estate. And as always, reach out to us if you need any help with buying, selling, or investing in New York City. We will see you next time.